just kind of want to show you a few of the new features on the 2013 LiuGong wheel loader. This loader right here is our 856 model. Comes with a 4.6 yard bucket. This particular model is the rebar configuration. So it's just got the single tilt cylinder on it with the 4.6 yard bucket with the pin on it. And it also has a reversible bolt-on cutting edge on that bucket. Now these machines can come with a quick coupler. We use the Euro style quick coupler. It's compatible with Volvo equipment also. And you can get that with the quick coupler, and then the bucket size is reduced to 4 cubic yards. These loaders have radial tires on them as standard. These are the 23.5/25 radial tires. They also come standard with the third valve on the machine, so that you can add a grapple fork or other hydraulic attachments, and that comes standard also. They come with the limited slip ZF axles on them, so all 4 wheels pull. And they also have a ZF auto shift transmission. You can either shift it manually if you want, or you can put it in what they call drive mode, and it'll shift through the gears automatically just like a car and drive. These machines, the 4-yard models, come standard with auto greasing. This is a grease bank. You fill this up with grease. You can use a grease gun, or you can take the lid off and dump grease in it. And this automatically greases the machine. It's set on a timer. We usually have them set so it greases for 10 minutes every hour. And it just puts a small amount of grease into each grease filling. 13 models also have fenders on them. So the rear fenders are kind of an option on these. They'll fold out. The fuel's right here. You can get filled up with fuel. There's also your drain down there for your engine oil, and I believe your radiator. You can drain those right here, easy to get at. There's a disconnect right back here. If you open this, you can shut the battery disconnect off, which kills power to the entire machine. And in here, you can get at your fan. This is a hydraulic reversible fan motor, and you can also check the sight gauge on the coolant level. These machines also, the cooling system back here, you can pull that out and to get at the radiator easier. You can clean out the different radiators on the machine. Lets you get to your air conditioner, condenser, your radiator, intercooler, and transmission cooler all back here. Nice big hitch pin right here for pulling stuff out with a big counterweight. And then in here, this is where you can raise an electric lift on the hood to raise the hood. We'll raise this up and show you some features on the engine. This is the Cummins 6.7, rated at 220 horse. This is your secondary fuel filter. This is your transmission filter. And move that up here, a little easier to get at than crawling up underneath the transmission. The air cleaner is really easy to get at. And you do not have to lift the hood to check the oil in it or add oil. You can just open up this right up here, so you don't have to raise the hood to do that. That kind of covers the engine on here. Here's your hydraulic tank right here. We've got a sight gauge on the tank, so you can look at the hydraulic pressure on there. Right up here is your cab filter for your clean air for your cab. It's easy to get to. You can take that off, clean that filter up, so your air conditioner works good in the summertime. A lot of times those filters get plugged, and then you don't get enough air movement for your AC to work properly. So they made that very easy to get at. They have plastic fenders on the front. Again, it's a rebar configuration. Very heavy-duty built bucket on here, 4.6 cubic yards. Okay, come around the back side. I can get it all this. Are you still recording? Okay. Here's your fuel filter, or your fuel fill is right here. And then in here, this is your primary fuel filter, and there's a little hand pump there. So if you do happen to gel up in the wintertime, you can take and spin that filter off, prime the fuel, put new fuel in a new filter, and get yourself up and going again. Here's your oil filter, alternator, starter. If you look in here, everything is very clean, very easy to get to all the components on this machine. Give you a little walkthrough on the buttons on the machine. This is for the auto greaser. If you want to grease it more than what the timer's set at, you can turn that on and it'll run the auto greasing. This is your rear window defroster, your rear window cleaner, and just to turn your wiper on for the rear window. And this is a beacon on top of the cab. And here's your declutching valve. You can turn that on, and when you step on the brake, it'll declutch the machine. And in the other mode, when you step on the brake, the transmission's still engaged. And then this is your shifting lever. You can either shift it right here, forward and reverse, and pick which gear you want to go in. Or if you leave that in neutral, you can come over here and shift forward and reverse right here. If you see the shifting is in neutral, second gear, there's forward, second gear, there's reverse, second gear. And that's all right here. Then there's also a little button right here that you can have in an auto or manual shifting. So if you got it in manual, whichever gear you put it on over here, it'll stay in that gear. If you put it in automatic, then it'll shift through those gears automatically. So if you put it in auto and have it in fourth gear, it'll shift second through fourth automatically. Or if you're in second gear, you can pull this trigger and it'll kick it down into first gear. And then when you back up, then it's back in second gear again automatically. And then right here, you have a diagnostics switch that'll give you engine codes. Code faults will show up. You can turn your idle up and down, your front lights, hazards, rear lights, and this you can shut the beeper off, I believe, on the machine. And then here's you have a tachometer and a temperature gauge for the engine, fuel gauge, and a gauge for the transmission temperature. And then your warning lights are on there, and there's also a light right here. It's a white light that comes on, says WTS, that's wait to start. So in the wintertime, if it's below 18 degrees, that light will come on, and as soon as the light goes off, then you can start it. It's an engine preheater. And then over here's your joystick for controlling the bucket, and your shifting, and your horn, and then your kick down button is on the trigger finger. And then this is for your third valve, to operate your third valve if you have a grapple fork or a quick coupler, that kind of thing. And then your park brakes right there. And then over here you have a cigarette lighter. There's also another one that's a 12 volt on the machine on the left side over here. There's a 12 volt one for your phone. And then this is the air conditioning and heating controls. This is your ride control. You can have it on a manual. You can have off or on automatic, so it comes on automatically after like 5 miles an hour. And then you have your hydraulic fan. You can reverse the engine cooling fan so it runs the other way to blow out the fan or the radiator. And then that's your auto or manual shifting. And then this is where you hook the computer in to check the engine for your ECM diagnostics. And this one also has an air ride seat right here. You can raise the air in the seat right there. And you have a large area here for storage, cup holder, and your fuse. I'll show you two on the fuse box. Right here you can pull this panel off with 4 screws, and I removed a fuse right here, and you can see there's a red light that lights up. So that's kind of handy on the fuse boxes. You don't have to test each fuse. You can just look for the red light, and it'll show you which fuse is blown. Another thing you'll notice with the visibility is very good out this cab. You got windows that go all the way down to the bottom of the cab on both sides. Plus you also have a door on this side too. A lot of loaders don't have a door on that side. Coat hook here, radios up here. You even have a sunshade in the front and the back that you can pull down. Nice roomy cab. Very quiet in here too. We'll rev the motor up. That's a full RPM right there, and then you can still Still plenty quiet. Another thing these loaders have is they have a return to dig feature. When you tilt the bucket down and go to roll the bucket back, when you roll that bucket back, it'll lock in and then it kicks out at level. And that right on the top there, you can see that where that's sliding back and forth above the tilt cylinder. There's a magnet there, and you can set that however you want for the bucket tilt. So when you lower that bucket, your bucket can either be level or you can have it digging in a little bit, however you want. But it's a pretty handy feature, because when you roll that out, dump your bucket, you can come back, it'll lock in place, and then it kicks out automatically. And there's also a sensor that'll lock out, lifting it all the way up, and then it'll kick out on its own for height kick out too.